Hi, my name's Nick. I run a successful home maintenance company and I'm here to show you some DIY tricks. In this video I'm going to explain how to do simple bathroom tiling. Basically we've got our flat wall here and for the purposes of being in a studio, what I've done is I've put a batten along the bottom of the wall which would represent the top, either the setting out point or the top of our skirting. The key of doing any kind of tiling is to make sure you start off with a straight level line and then everything basically works back to that. So don't be too worried about drawing plenty of lines over the wall. For example, you know, I've put a vertical up here because I'm going to start on this first tile with a half a tile and then come full tile, full tile, full tile. Depending on where you are with your starting point, I would typically start from the bottom on the skirting board, but you might end up starting on a shower tray or a windowsill. But the key to tiling is making sure that you start from a level point. So if I wanted to start from this point here, all I would do would be to work out my line, level it up all the way across. And there's a number of tricks to tiling. You know, for example, if I wanted to start on this line and there's nothing below, the minute the tiling starts, inevitably one tile is going to slip below the line because of how the adhesion process works. But popping a few nails in under the tile or just screwing, like I've done here, a temporary batten which can simply be removed after the tiling will overcome a myriad of problems. In terms of tools, I guess, this is probably the most important tool, which is a wall tiling trowel. Slightly different to a floor tiling trowel because the depth on the trowel is only 4 or 5 millimeters, which is typical for a wall tile. Typically, if you pick up a floor tile trowel, they're more sort of 10 to 12 mil. And there's various actions, various methods and various tools because, again, for the purposes of a studio, I'm only going to be tiling a small area. With using something like this, we run lines up the wall and then horizontally, so we've got a big area, and then it's a case of just putting the tiles on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Other tools, this is one of my favourite tools because it's small, easily to handle. It's a simple 50p product, but you don't get your hands messed up. It goes into the adhesive quite simply. It's a good width, so when you're buttering the tiles up, you can literally get it exactly where you need it, right to the edges, all the way through. So very simply, all I'm going to do is start with my half tile and I'm going to butter it up. Buttering up just means basically like you would a piece of bread, applying tile adhesive to the depth on the trowel, and then very simply, it's a sort of simple process of pushing the tile onto the wall and just moving it around a bit so that the whole process of squeezing it or squidging it against the wall gets the air out of it, and that is pretty much stuck. Second tile again, already buttered, straight on, and all we're going to do is just push it around a few times and then put in the tile spaces. Okay. Now, as I said earlier, the key to tiling is making sure you start off on a straight or a level line, because from this point, these two tiles are on the line, dead spot on, and our next tile will effectively sit in our spacer. So if one tile's out, it will kick the spacer and it will kick the whole wall. So the other key to tiling, which is why I use a simple tool like this, is control. Don't be afraid to go back over what you've done, take a tile off. The key to it is making sure everything's dead square and straight as you go up the wall. So again, push it back and forth a couple of times, run your finger over the line and you'll find the same depth, and again, spacers in, right down onto the top, and again, the next tile will sit snugly through there. Using a tool like this on smaller tiles is far easier and more practical because the smaller the tile, I think, the harder the work. So again, we're going to put this in between the spacers, drop it back onto the wall and just squidge it around a little bit, reinstate the spacers. Sometimes they need a little push back. And don't push these all the way in, because obviously these need to come out prior to grouting. Okay, and there you have it. And that's how to simply tile a bathroom wall.